Welcome to Trending Now USA, and I am Bella. Today we bring you an in-depth, unfolding, emotionally rich feature surrounding Coco Gauff's latest milestone, a milestone that has sparked waves of reactions from her family, her inner circle, her boyfriend, her fellow athletes, and fans across the United States. The news of her being included on a prestigious Forbes list has traveled rapidly across the sports world, the entertainment sphere, and the broader cultural landscape. And as this story expands, it reveals not only the athletic triumphs that placed Coco Gauff in this position, but also the deeply human responses from the people who know her best. As we trace every layer of this development, we will unravel the emotional heartbeat behind one of the most beloved athletes in America today. The moment Coco Gauff's name appeared on the Forbes list, social media erupted with excitement, pride, and admiration. But behind the scenes, away from the cameras and public excitement, a far more intimate wave of emotion swept through the Gauff household. Sources close to the family describe a scene filled with tears, laughter, long hugs, and heartfelt words exchanged late into the night. Coco's parents, Candy and Cory Gauff, have always been known for their grounded approach to parenting a prodigy. They have balanced discipline with warmth and ambition with realism, teaching Coco from childhood that greatness is built one day at a time. So when news broke that their daughter had secured her place among Forbes' most influential young achievers, their reaction was not one of surprise, but of profound pride and deep reflection. Those close to the family say that both parents felt this accomplishment represented more than recognition of Coco's athletic success. It symbolized years of sacrifice, early mornings, late nights, homeschooling on the road, traveling from tournament to tournament, and choosing a path that demanded everything from the entire family. Her mother reportedly grew emotional reading the announcement, telling close friends that she could remember the very first tennis lesson Coco ever took at age 6. That moment, which seemed small and ordinary at the time, planted the seed for a future none of them could fully imagine. She recalled Coco's determination even as a child, how she insisted on practicing when it was raining, how she cried after losing junior tournaments because she felt she had let herself down, and how she stood up after every setback stronger than before. Her father, Cory, took a quieter approach. Those who have known him for decades say that he has always been the more analytical parent, the coach, the strategist, the planner. When he saw Coco's name on the Forbes list, he reportedly sat still for several minutes before saying anything. Then, once the initial silence broke, he simply said, "She earned every bit of this." He wasn't referring only to championships or trophies, but to the mindset she has forged, disciplined, composed, responsible, and increasingly aware of the influence she holds. This recognition, he believed, reflected not just what Coco had accomplished, but who she had become. And who she has become is someone whose impact extends well beyond the tennis court. Throughout the last year, Coco Gauff has emerged as one of the most influential young voices in the United States, not only for her success at the US Open and her consistency on the WTA Tour, but for the maturity she shows in interviews, the leadership she demonstrates within the sport, and the social awareness she brings to her platform. The Forbes committee specifically highlighted her dual influence, athletic excellence paired with cultural relevance. They cited her ability to inspire millions of young girls, particularly young athletes of color, who see in her a blueprint for perseverance and self-belief. But perhaps the most surprising and heartwarming reactions came from Coco Gauff's boyfriend, whose identity Coco has kept largely private out of respect for her personal life. While Coco has never sought attention for her relationship, insiders say the bond is strong, grounded, and deeply supportive. According to someone close to the couple, he was among the first to hear the news before it broke publicly. His reaction was described as emotional and proud, reportedly telling her that she had not only made history, but also made everyone around her better simply through the way she lives her life. He has always admired how she carries the weight of fame with humility, how she treats every member of her support team with gratitude, and how she manages to balance her personal life with the intensity of her career. Hearing that she had been featured on the Forbes list, he reportedly told her that the recognition was just the beginning. "A glimpse," he said, "of the future you're building." People close to Coco say this meant a great deal to her, not because of the accolade itself, but because her boyfriend has witnessed her struggles, her injuries, her moments of doubt, and her silent battles away from the spotlight. For him, the recognition confirmed what he had always believed, that Coco's rise is not a coincidence, but the result of discipline, talent, and character. The reactions from her siblings were equally heartfelt. Coco's younger brothers, who have always shared a close bond with her, reportedly cheered, jumped, and teased her affectionately, saying that they would now have to treat her like a celebrity at home, a joke that made the entire household laugh. Their innocence and humor brought a lighter atmosphere to a night filled with overwhelming emotion. They reminded Coco that no matter how bright her star shines publicly, she is still the big sister who plays video games with them, joins them in backyard basketball competitions, and gives them advice about school and life. Family friends described the scene as warm and intimate, almost like a family reunion. They reminisced about past milestones: Coco's first junior Grand Slam final, her breakthrough win against Venus Williams at Wimbledon, her first WTA title, and the unforgettable US Open victory that made her a national sensation. Each milestone had felt monumental, but this recognition, being honored on a Forbes list among leaders, innovators, and global influencers, hit differently. It represented her impact beyond sports, beyond stadiums, and beyond the corner of the world where tennis thrives. It positioned her as a cultural figure who shapes conversations, inspires dreams, and influences future generations. Across the tennis world, reactions began pouring in from fellow players, coaches, analysts, and legends of the sport. Many highlighted how remarkable it is to see a player so young, still at the early chapters of her career, earning a place on a list traditionally filled with innovators, entrepreneurs, and industry leaders. One former Grand Slam champion commented that Coco Gauff represents the future of American sports, emphasizing how she embodies both excellence and responsibility. Another analyst pointed out that her influence has grown exponentially since the US Open triumph, noting that she has become a symbol of grace under pressure, a role model for sportsmanship, and an advocate for positive change. On social media, hashtags celebrating her accomplishment trended within minutes. Fans posted emotional messages describing how Coco has inspired them through her authenticity and perseverance. Parents shared photos of their daughters practicing tennis with the caption, "Future Coco Gauff," while educators praised her intelligence and humility during media interviews. Influencers, celebrities, and fellow athletes from various sports joined in, congratulating her and expressing pride in seeing a young Black woman achieve such a prestigious milestone on a global stage. Despite all the noise, all the congratulations, and all the public celebrations, insiders say Coco stayed grounded. She spent the evening at home surrounded by her family, avoiding the temptation to scroll endlessly through social media. She's learned over the years to manage public attention with intentionality. While she appreciates the praise, she remains deeply aware that her identity is not defined by accolades, but by character, purpose, and the goals she continues to chase. Those close to her say she took time to step back and reflect quietly. She has always been introspective, often writing in her journal after big events. It is believed she wrote this time as well, reflecting on the journey that brought her to this moment. She reportedly thought about the various chapters of her life, the difficult training sessions that left her physically exhausted, the early losses that tested her confidence, and the victories that affirmed her undeniable potential. She also reflected on the challenges that come with fame, learning to protect her mental well-being, navigating online scrutiny, and balancing her private life with public expectations. Her coach shared that Coco's focus remains firmly on her future goals. Being featured on the Forbes list is an honor, but she sees it not as a finish line, but as motivation. Her next season promises to be one of the most important of her career, with major tournaments, new rivalries, and heightened expectations. Coco knows that recognition brings responsibility, and she is determined to keep growing not only as an athlete, but as a person. Coco's boyfriend, according to those close to the couple, encouraged her to enjoy the moment rather than immediately shift her focus back to training. He believes that she sometimes underestimates the significance of her accomplishments because she is so driven to keep improving. His heartfelt reaction played a meaningful role in helping her appreciate the emotional weight of this recognition. He reminded her that it is okay to celebrate herself, to acknowledge how far she has come, and to feel proud of what she continues to achieve. The Gauff family household, though filled with emotion, did not stray from its core values. Even after the congratulations, the hugs, and the celebrations, they ended the night just as they often do, talking around the dinner table, sharing stories, checking on one another, and preparing for the next day's responsibilities. This grounding environment is believed to be one of the key reasons Coco has been able to handle fame with such poise. Her family ensures she remains centered, balanced, and true to herself, no matter how high her career rises. Analysts across the country highlighted that this milestone signals a new chapter for Coco. She is transitioning from a tennis star to a broader cultural figure, someone whose voice carries weight far beyond the sport. This evolution mirrors the path of other legendary athletes who use their platform to create change, inspire communities, and influence global conversations. While Coco is still only at the beginning of this journey, her inclusion in the Forbes list suggests that she is already shaping the world around her. Brands and sponsors reacted quickly, many posting congratulatory messages and emphasizing the pride they feel in partnering with such a dynamic and inspirational athlete. Marketing analysts noted that Coco's influence continues to grow because she resonates with audiences across generations. She appeals not only to young fans who admire her athletic talent, but also to parents, educators, and professionals who respect her maturity and integrity. She has become a symbol of what the next generation of American leadership looks like: confident, thoughtful, hardworking, and purpose-driven. Throughout the week, as interviews and media appearances began rolling in, Coco continued to emphasize gratitude. She thanked her family, her team, and her supporters. She acknowledged that while accolades are humbling, her true motivation comes from her love for the sport and her desire to be a positive force in the world. Her humility resonated deeply with audiences, reinforcing why she is so widely admired. Her boyfriend's continued support behind the scenes reminded her that accomplishments are sweeter when shared with people who genuinely care. Sources say he remained by her side during the quiet moments, after the calls, after the media messages, after the celebration posts. For Coco, having someone who sees her not as a celebrity, but as a human being with dreams, fears, and feelings, is profoundly grounding. As the days passed, the Gauff family's reactions continued to trend, inspiring fans who admire the closeness and support that surround Coco. Many commented that seeing a family react with such genuine emotion made the achievement feel even more meaningful. It reminded people that behind every success story is a network of love, sacrifice, and belief. In many ways, Coco's inclusion in the Forbes list reflects a larger cultural shift. The world is beginning to value not only athletic skill but also leadership, influence, and positive impact. Coco embodies all of these qualities. She represents a new era of athlete, one who competes fiercely, speaks thoughtfully, acts responsibly, and inspires continuously. Welcome to Trending Now USA, and I am Bella.